The Israeli occupation army has asserted that its control over the buffer zone in the Golan Heights and Syria's Jabal al-Sheikh is crucial for ensuring Israel's security. According to Chief of Staff Haris Halavi, Israel is now engaged on 4 active fronts driven by recent military operations along the Syrian border and in the Golan Heights. He noted that Israeli forces, including infantry, armored units, engineering teams and artillery, are operating inside Syria, supported by air, naval and intelligence divisions. Egypt has strongly condemned the Israeli seizure of the demilitarized zone along the Syrian border and nearby strategic locations, describing it as an occupation of Syrian land and a blatant violation of Syrian sovereignty. This came in the Egyptian Foreign Ministry statement, where it emphasized that this action contravenes the 1974 disengagement agreement and international law, undermining Syria's territorial integrity. Egypt accuses Israel of exploiting the current instability in Syria to impose new realities on the ground. Egypt urges the United Nations Security Council and international powers to act decisively to ensure Syria's sovereignty over its entire territory. Media reports have said that Mohammed al-Bashir has been tasked with forming a new Syrian government to manage the country's transitional phase. Russian news agency reported that Syrian factions support establishing a temporary transitional government and wish to operate under the umbrella of a unified administration. The report also indicated that the factions aimed to dissolve all armed groups in the country. Austria, Germany and Greece have suspended asylum applications from Syrian nationals following the end of President Bashar al-Assad's regime. The Austrian Interior Ministry announced that all open asylum cases for Syrians will be halted, with preparations underway for an organized repatriation program to Syria. Meanwhile, Germany's Interior Ministry stated it would not process asylum requests until Syria's political future becomes clearer. Greece revealed that asylum applications from nearly 9,000 Syrians have been also suspended. Additionally, France is reportedly considering a similar suspension within the coming hours. Israeli Foreign Minister has stated that the Israeli forces' limited and temporary presence in Syria's territory, aiming at safeguard Israel. Saar stressed the need to protect Syria's minorities, halt attacks, and highlighted deadlocked negotiations regarding detainees. Israel has sent forces into the demilitarized zone created by a 1974 agreement.
Follow their steps, and we will follow.
Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz has instructed the Israeli army to complete its control over the buffer zone in Syria and key observation points following the occupation of Jabal al-Sheikh and other areas. Katz also called for creating a strategic weapons-free zone beyond the buffer zone in southern Syria, claiming such weapons pose a threat to Israel. He emphasized ongoing operations to destroy heavy strategic weapons across Syria, including air-to-surface missiles, air defense systems, surface-to-surface missiles, cruise missiles, long-range rockets, and coastal missiles. Jordanian Foreign Minister Ayman Safadi stressed But any Israeli incursion into Syrian territory constitutes a breach of international law. Safadi reaffirmed Jordan's support for a Syrian-led political solution and its commitment to maintaining Syria's stability and security. The Kremlin has announced that Russian President Vladimir Putin has decided to grant asylum to Syrian President Bashar al-Assad and his family, while the Kremlin noted that Putin has no immediate plans to meet Assad. It described the next phase in Syria as challenging due to its instability. The Kremlin also plans to discuss the future of Russian bases in Syria with the country's new authorities. Iraq's Presidential Council and State Administration Coalition has emphasized the importance of bolstering security along the Iraqi-Syrian border. The meeting highlighted support for government measures to protect border stability, preserve Syria's unity, and respect its sovereignty. The call for a roadmap to define Iraqi-Syrian relations and endorse dialogue aimed at drafting a constitution that guarantees rights for all Syrian factions. The Washington Post has reported that the United States is considering delisting the Hayat Tahrir al-Sham from its terrorist organizations to promote stability in Syria. An American official cited in the report said that the move is under serious evaluation, including HTS's independence from Turkey. The Syrian flag has been raised over the Syrian embassy in Moscow, signaling a new chapter in the country's leadership. Russian media reported that Syrian President Bashar al-Assad fled to Moscow with his family after occupation and opposition groups advanced into Damascus. The Kremlin announced plans to hold discussions with Syria's new leadership regarding the nation's future. The Kremlin has stated it is too early to determine the future of Russia's military bases in Syria. That came after Syria's Bashar al-Assad's flight to Russia. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov noted ongoing efforts to ensure security and communication with the parties, and also Russia's air base and Tatros naval facility, vital for Mediterranean operations, remain under scrutiny. U.S. President Joe Biden has announced that the United States will collaborate with partners in Syria to manage risks and seize opportunities. Speaking at the White House, Biden confirmed U.S. support for Syria's neighbors during the transition and stressed that al-Assad should be held accountable. He noted that Syria is in a period of uncertainty.
The Assad regime has fallen.
German Chancellor Olaf Scholz has expressed support for Syrians seeking a peaceful future. Scholz emphasized the possibility of a national dialogue, orderly transition, and political solution to the conflict. Speaking in Berlin, Scholz stated that Germany, alongside international partners and in line with UN Security Council resolutions, would contribute to this effort.
Und bei den Geflüchteten. Über die letzten Jahre hat das syrische Volk unter Assad entsetzliches Leid erfahren. Deshalb ist das
UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has called on the Syrian people to seize the opportunity for peace after 14 years of war. He emphasized that Syria's future should be determined by Syrians with the support of UN Special Envoy for Syria, Pedersen. Guterres urged a peaceful political transition and respect for human rights, highlighting the need for international support. He also stressed the importance of preserving Syria's sovereignty, unity, and territorial integrity while honoring those affected by the conflict. Pedersen echoed calls for protecting civilians and institutions.
Unity and respect for international humanitarian law and human rights.
Tensions increase as Israeli actions in Syria's Golan Heights intensify, sparking international criticism and geopolitical concerns.